Happy WrestleMania Saturday, everyone. Man. My name is Japheth Pizarro, the branding brain one on Instagram. You're listening to the Ringside Culture podcast, where the wrestling passion meets the heart of men's issues. WrestleMania Saturday, man, this week has gone super fast but super slow at the same time. A lot of personal changes in my life. I added a new marketing client this week. I do branding and marketing, more focused on branding, but I also work in the solar business. So my full-time is in the solar business, and now I got a part-time marketing client that I'm really excited to be working with. I'll probably have both sides of those fence on, because on the solar side, I work with one of my best friends who's a big wrestling fan as well, so I'll likely have him on here. We'll talk a little solar and a little bit about what he's going through and what's going on in his life. And then we also then on the other side have another really good friend of mine who is starting a business with his wife, and they have brought me on to brand and shape their marketing strategy from the ground up. It's one of my favorite things to do. People always ask me why the branding brain, or why the brand brain. Is just my brain is kind of wired and just kind of set up in a way where I feel like I'm a really good customer, and as a good customer who likes to do good business with good businesses, I know the kind of experience that I would want to have. I know the experience that I would want my friends and family to have. So if I walk into your business or I meet you to receive a service, I know what I would expect and therefore I would expect everyone around me to receive from you as a business. So when a business brings me in, I always tell them I can probably walk it corner to corner, tell you and sit down with you and have you introduce me to your business as if it's a person, and get a sense of who you want that business to be when they first meet and come in contact with you. And it shapes for a really fun and detailed perspective on the strategy to get your business to become an established brand. Just like coffee or Starbucks, for instance. A lot of places have coffee, but there's only one Starbucks, and so it's that power that a brand can bring. Talking about a big, powerful brand, the WWE. I feel like where the inception of that kind of mindset came from, because the WWE is all about branding, from the brand itself of WWE down to the branding of each of its characters and each of its personalities within the company. So it's just something that I've always really enjoyed. And Solar Game helping a lot of people, making a lot of money so far. So it's been really great. But I'm coming on here. We'll be back in just a little bit, getting everything set up. We just dropped your episode 2 of this podcast. This is episode 3 that I'm filming now. Really cool, really exciting. It's so funny. My girlfriend asked me, "So how many views did you get on your first podcast episode and YouTube episode?" Because I posted the first episode video-wise to YouTube, because as I'm learning, now I know that Shopify can also be put up as a video for those who have video capabilities on their podcast subscription or the podcast apps. So I'll likely be doing video. Actually, today, episode 2 is available both in video and audio on podcast on Shopify at Ringside Culture Podcast. I brought on a really cool friend of mine, Anthony Rivera, that just knows so much about wrestling. He's been watching wrestling about as long as I have, and is about as diehard as I am. So we were able to have a really kind of cool conversation, right on level. He had some great things to say about night 1. I am going to do night 2 for you guys in just a second. I'm just going to run through the card, put out some thoughts, give you a prediction, and get ready to watch Stand and Deliver, which probably starts here in about the next 45 minutes. So this will be a short episode for you in comparison to last week's. I don't want to take a lot of your time now. I do appreciate and have a really cool uh, uh, mindset right now when it comes to my viewership and my listenership. Like I said, my girlfriend asked me about who was watching, who was listening, how many, and I said, uh, it's three people, apparently 3 or 4 people that listened to that first episode on Spotify, and I'm up to about 10 or 11 views on my YouTube. And I think to myself, if I think the first time I ever go out and perform and do something or do some, stand up or perform with a band, and I have 4 people sitting there who listen to me perform, and then the next time I go and there's 12 people that go and perform, that will sit there and listen to me or watch me perform, even if it's just for a little bit. It's growth. It's progress. So I appreciate every single one of you guys that might listen to this and watch this. I would hope, and I invite you to share your opinions back. Be nice and be respectful, obviously. I guess it's not that obvious these days, but it's the only thing I ask, because I'm not afraid to to go back and forth if necessary, but I'd rather not, because the reality is I really want this channel to be a place where men can talk wrestling and talk sports if it comes up, talk current events if it comes up, talk feelings and circumstances and ideas and just kind of bro talk for a bit. So we'll be right back in a second. I'm going to get the match card up, get some coffee that I think just got here, and I will be right back with you guys. Okay, and I'm back. Thank you so much to our non-sponsor. For those that can see it here, I'm not sure who you guys see here, but coffee is a great fuel on a day where I'm going to be clearly on the TV all day through into the night. I foresee this night one to be an absolute monster of a night for professional wrestling. Before I go on to WrestleMania night 2, like I stated, I do want to mention one thing that really blew my mind, because that right now, Saturday morning, Saturday of WrestleMania, SmackDown the night before, in the Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia was absolutely spectacular. I always felt, at least I would say for the last 4 or 5 years, especially, I've felt that the go home Raw is always red hot, usually. But then the go home SmackDown's a lot of like video packages and a little thing here and there, nothing really super major. But we go ahead and we start to see people really get after it from Monday to Friday, and everything in between. You saw some action at the WWE World with people extending their characters and their storylines in between, and interviews and content and stuff like that. Gosh, hopefully one day I'll be able to kind of get in the mix there, go to one of these and maybe talk to some of them and get their feedback and their thoughts on some of the things that they're going through. I think that's the big picture dream of any kid, like you're a guy like me that, is going to start spending his time talking to a screen and his friends on the other side of that screen listening and watching about professional wrestling. But it's one of those things where we start to really internalize the stories when they put so much effort. Like last night was really fun. One thing that I really enjoyed, I would say 2 little things that I really kind of hit me. First of all, the Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio versus Santos and Dom got a new coat of paint. They ran an angle. Spoiler alert, give me about a couple of seconds. If you don't want to hear what happened, just skip 30 seconds forward. They're backward, and then you won't even know what I'm about to talk about. Skip forward about a minute. I'm just going to mention it for like a minute, starting right about now. Okay, so Dragon Lee was attacked by somebody mysteriously backstage, found by Carlito. I'm a Carlito fan. I'm Puerto Rican. I love him to death. I love his family, but I know his family, and I know his family doesn't exactly play nice. So if you ask me, Carlito did it. He's kind of guilty. He smells of guilt, especially because he came back after the payoff angle and said, "Hey, did you guys hear, about Dragon Lee when they were informed that he wouldn't be able to be cleared for WrestleMania due to the attack?" He also didn't exactly come across very happy for that result. But the result was that although Andrade had accompanied Dominic and Santos and Elektra down to the ring for Elektra's match with Zelina Vega, after some clear attempts to bully Andrade around as Santos is used to doing with his guys and as Dom is used to doing with a guy like, let's say, JD McDonough or R-Truth, where they just kind of pushed him around and made fun of him. Andrade is not that guy. And so he snapped. And he beat the tar out of Santos and Dominic, backing up Rey Mysterio in that scenario, and later aligning himself with Rey Mysterio to be his tag team partner upon both of them being informed that Dragon Lee would not be. And so when that was relayed to Carlito, there was about 2-3 seconds there where he was like, that didn't work. It looked like disappointment, like, mate, damn, I took this kid out so that I would obviously be next in line for that spot at WrestleMania. That's what I came back to this company for. And I mentioned it on episode 2 when I was sitting there with Anthony. I said, man, did it not seem to you that Carlito felt some kind of way about not being selected by Rey Mysterio to be in that spot, and that spot being given to the new guy, Dragon Lee? And here, fast forward a week, Dragon Lee gets injured, and he's the new tag team partner. I'm so sorry for those who thought this was going to go a minute. Clearly went over a minute. You guys are going to start to get to know quickly that I get on rants. That's the end of that discussion. I'm not going to talk about it anymore from here on forward. That way you guys can get a clear spot where that spoiler, huge spoiler, was let out. But that was one thing. Now, fast forward to the end of the SmackDown, we had the Hall of Fame induction. Obviously, the Hall of Fame induction, I feel like that's going to require a meet and greet with somebody or a discussion with somebody, because so much went down in that Hall of Fame. It was almost a little off the rails, like by a lot. It felt very freeing, though. Like they were given the opportunity to be themselves and do exactly what it is that they wanted to do. They were clearly told, just go out there and feel it out. Do whatever you think feels right in the moment. It was cool to see. We had some great inductees, but at the very end, Rocky Maivia, Rocky Johnson. Oh my God, The Rock, the final boss, with the lineage of Rocky Johnson and being Rocky Maivia upon his arrival. He clearly has his family in high regard, so he inducted his grandmother to finally join her husband, High Chief Peter Maivia, in the Hall of Fame, as she was among the very first female wrestling promoters in the world, and especially, I believe, the only one within the U.S. territories. So her induction was a big deal, but Muhammad Ali's wife, first of all, presented The Rock with the People's Championship title, which was a Rock branded championship title. I'd be interested to see if he carries that People's Championship down to the ring. And if, God forbid, upon the loss of Cody Rhodes then goes after the People's Championship, The Rock's People's Championship, or then does he win and then also go after The Rock's People's Championship title, making Cody the People's Champ? Because at the end of the day, right now, the real People's Champ is Cody Rhodes, considering the swell of support he received to get his many WrestleMania main event spot back. But he also took that time to do business. And that's something that I don't know anything. I've never been a wrestler. I've never been told one way or the other anything is true or not true. This is just mere speculation on my part. However, Raw is it's not usual for a Hall of Fame induction to be used to conduct business, right? So when you use something like that to conduct business, he turns around. He's talking about being grateful and thankful to certain people and wishing certain people were there to witness. And he turned and addressed the Rhodes family and did business, said that whatever happens Saturday night, it's not business, it's personal. And then he directed the attention to acknowledge his mother, the Hall of Fame inductee's daughter. And she at first did not stand up. And then when she stood up, you can kind of see her say, "I don't approve of this." And she said, "No, no, no." And right as the camera cut off to end the broadcast, it looked like she was going to sit back down. I feel like what we witnessed, maybe, I don't know if I'm the only one that caught it, or if other people have caught it. I haven't seen it on social media. Nobody's really discussed it. I'm interested to see if anyone on the pre-show, anyone like a Michael Cole or someone addresses it, or if maybe I'm just seeing things. Go back and watch it. End of the Hall of Fame. It looked to me like she said, "I don't approve of this." Clearly referring to the fact that instead of speaking about his grandmother, he chose to take that moment to talk trash to Cody Rhodes again. That may be the moment, let's say in the story, where The Rock shifts and realizes, now I've disappointed my mother in this. In doing what's best for my family, the most important family member of mine, the hell of the tribal chief, is my mama. And in talking crap about Mama Rhodes and talking crap to the Rhodes family during what's supposed to be the induction of my grandmother into the Hall of Fame, I have chosen to do business, and Mom was not happy from my perspective. So those are two things that I'm going to keep an eye on night one and see if they factor in, because I believe those are things that will factor in, will have an effect. And I'm looking forward to. So let me run through night two real quickly. I'm not going to take a lot of time for this, obviously, because I'm excited. I've got about 15 minutes to tie up some stuff, get this rocking and rolling so we can get this posted for you guys. And then it's WrestleMania content weekend extravaganza, starting with Stand and Deliver. So I'm very excited. So first things first, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Final Testament, a 6-man tag team match, Philadelphia Street Fight. I think this is going to be a banger based on the final message left by the Final Testament on Friday Night SmackDown. Again, spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it. Skip forward a bit, or earmuffs. I don't know. The Final Testament on SmackDown made it very clear that a Philadelphia Street Fight is the moment on the card where they will pay homage to the extreme wrestling culture of Philadelphia. So it's going to be an opportunity for these three guys to do the high-flying lucha style for someone like a Montez Ford or something that made ECW famous. The hard-hitting, punch you in the face, kick you in the head, beat you with a stop sign, throw you to a table, light a table on fire, bring out barbed wire, bring out glass. No real glass, because CM Punk is very much concerned about that. They're going to bring it all. I think if they don't, it's going to be a bit of a disappointment, because I believe that they're all capable of it. I believe I've seen Authors of Pain in plenty of occasions do what they do and do it at a high level. So I'm excited for this. I believe, in my opinion, that Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits will go over in this match. They will take the W. I believe that it'll come down to a moment of mayhem where one of the Street Profits, I'm thinking Montez Ford, comes out on top. Night two also has the LA Knight versus AJ Styles scenario, AJ Styles can't put on a bad match. I believe that LA Knight is going to take this one. He's going to win. That's my pick, because I believe AJ Styles is in a place in his career where he is elevating the people around him, and I believe this is a moment and a time where it makes sense to have AJ Styles be the shoulders onto which LA Knight steps up and takes a spot in that next level where LA Knight is destined to be. And I think AJ Styles is going to pull out a match with LA Knight that will catapult LA Knight into a different category and different conversation. He's going to have to bring a different level of intensity because AJ Styles is that pit bull. It's not just a moniker, it is exactly who he is. He fights with everything he has, and he is gifted. He's phenomenal. He can't have a bad match. So these guys have been trying to get their hands on each other, trying not to get their hands on each other, and all those things are going to factor in at some point. It's just a matter of when those two finally stand face to face and the bell rings. I believe LA Knight will go over. Yeah. Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens did some really fun stuff last night on SmackDown. I think the defining factor is going to be the hot-headed temper of both Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, because there's going to come a point of multiple points in this match where Logan Paul is going to be out and not in the picture because Randy Orton and Kevin Owens whooped his candy behind. But I believe that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are going to beat the snot out of each other in the process of trying to make sure Logan Paul does not win. But I think ultimately that's going to weigh into the final decision. I do think Logan Paul is going to walk away with the U.S. Championship. I think there's a larger stock in Logan Paul retaining and going on to Cleveland as a champion. I don't foresee, unless they're aligning him up for a world title opportunity in his hometown. I do believe that likely Logan Paul will go over in this match and have the victory. The women's WWE Championship, Bayley and Io Sky, I'm excited for that in a way that I feel they're given an opportunity going to absolutely show that they should have been the main event. And that's been said so many times about so many women's matches. But I believe that these two are going to be able to do that because Io Sky is absolutely exactly who she says she is. She is the genius of the sky. She is one of the absolute best high flyers in the women's wrestling business. And Bayley is the storyteller of all storytellers. Her stuff with Sasha Banks was magic because of the story that Bayley was able to tell. So I think her and Io are going to be able to tell an amazing story with a lot of drama. And there's always the factors of the rest of Damage Control and the new Lady Avengers of Bianca Belair, Naomi, Jade Cargill from night one coming and becoming a factor in this match as well. So do I think Bayley is going to win? I think she needs to win. I think this is her opportunity to have her WrestleMania moment and be able to point at the sign with the WWE Championship and everything that's going on. Right. So Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. That match, I have my theory from last night where I sit here thinking to myself, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, I don't think, I could be way off. I really have a feeling that something's going to happen night one that puts Seth out of the night two match. But in the event that it does come down to Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, I believe that Drew McIntyre's moment is here. He is going to be the one that wins. He is going to be the one that ends this crazy run of Seth Rollins as the workhorse champion, allowing him to go off and get a little rest, heal up, and come back stronger. And lastly, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. What can there be said that hasn't already been said? I believe, and I'm literally going to end it with this, y'all. If Cody Rhodes does not finish the story tonight, his stock goes way, way down. There's no way he moves forward from there, in my opinion. So that is likely to be the end of Cody Rhodes' skyward progression. So for me, in my heart, as a fan, Cody Rhodes coming over. He finishes the story. And Monday night on Raw, he walks in as your new Universal Champion. That's been it for me. I'm ready to get started watching wrestling. Hit me up in the comments. Follow me on Instagram. Reach out on all our social media. This has been Jay with the Ringside Culture Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all.